Jurassic World Rebirth. It was okay. I didn't hate it. I liked the dinosaurs. Just kidding, I lied. Dinosaurs were the only good thing. Movie sucked. It was predictable, unoriginal, no characters that I really cared about, except the one black guy whose name I can't pronounce. Unlike Superman, this movie fucking rocked. This movie is what not just DC, not just superhero movies, but what in all honesty, this movie is what the world needed right now. No, I'm not going to get political. Don't worry, not going to do that. But I'm just saying, this movie was a breath of fresh air. Bambi the Reckoning was an interesting case. Bambi the Reckoning was an interesting case. Lighting-wise, it was dark, but understandably so, because this is a smaller budget movie. Effects are not that good on a CGI deer, so the lighting, making it darker, helps kind of hide that. This was the only gripe I had, because I felt like they went a little too far with the darkness. Like, sometimes I struggled to see things that did not require CGI, because there was no deer, there was no giant-ass deer with teeth there. But overall, very good movie, and I am very excited to see what happens when Bambi runs into Pooh. The very next weekend, I saw Fantastic Four: First Steps. Now, this movie had its flaws, but I still think it was an improvement on past movies of these characters. A better story, way better effects, and similar to Superman with its whole be kind to people, with the whole like be kind message that it said. This movie has a very similar one with loving your family, which I've come to appreciate now. Like as a yeah, I'm cutting that. I have to give a warning about the Naked Gun and Weapons. Both are equally good in their own right. However, because Naked Gun came out before Weapons, there is a particular scene in both of those movies that have similarities, I'm going to start off by saying. And when I saw this scene in Weapons, I could not stop myself from laughing, because it just reminded me of the Naked Gun. That's just a warning. I'm not going to spoil anything for anyone who has not seen either of those movies yet. You probably should, whether it be in theaters, streaming, DVD, Blu-ray, VHS, Laserdisc, smoke signals, whatever. If you watch these two movies, I would recommend watching Weapons first, followed by The Naked Gun. Nobody 2, or Nobodies, as it should have been called. Similar to Bambi, I would have liked the lighting in this movie to be a little bit brighter. But I don't know if it was the film itself. I don't know if it was the theater I was in, the projector. There could have been other factors. Besides that, I find this to be better than the second. Besides that, I found this movie to be... I can't fucking talk. Besides that, I think this movie was just as good as the first one. A little note that I want to throw in, because I don't really care about spoilers, because if you wanted to see this, you probably would have seen it already. But I love how I think it's great that they brought in the wife. And by that, I mean, oh my god. Movie was good. Moving on. Caught Stealing I only watched because it was my birthday and I had the day off from work. However, while I'm not a fan of the director's past movies, I found this one to be rather enjoyable. Not something that I'd watch a second time or buy the DVD of, but not a bad movie. If you're a fan of Austin Butler or Darren What's-His-Fuck in general, I would recommend you go and see this movie. Toxic Avenger I liked. However, I'm very curious about one specific thing. This movie was made in 2023. It was put on a shelf for 2 years because apparently no company wanted to distribute it. Distribute, produce, I don't know the logistics. Anyway, I always appreciate gore and balls to the wall craziness. However, I felt this movie was actually pretty mellow. And I only say this because it took 2 years for this movie to finally be shown, unrated. I was expecting more. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just desensitized to the point where I had some very unrealistic expectations for an unrated film. Maybe they toned it down. I doubt it, but that's just my thoughts on it, my 2 cents. Other than that, I think it's a very good film, and while it isn't an exact copy of the original, it does pay homage and maintains the spirit of the original.